everybody? We're back again. Happy Sunday. We want to go ahead and break down a real quick topic of discussion lately, the 2019 wide receiver draft class. We're going to go ahead and redraft those 2019 wide receivers based off of what we think about them going into the 2022 season. As usual, I have Justin here with me to go ahead and give his opinion as well. Good to see you again, bro. You ready to talk wide receivers?
Yes, sir.
All right. So before we jump into our redraft, I want to go ahead and remind everyone the order that these guys were drafted. I'll give the top, 5 or 6 or so. So the first wide receiver taken in 2019 was Marquis Brown by the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, he's no longer with them. He is with the Arizona Cardinals now. The second wide receiver taken was Nicole Hardman with the last pick in the first round by the New England Patriots. Again, he's no longer with them. He's with the Chicago Bears. Then the third wide receiver taken in that draft was Debo Samuel in the second round by the 49ers. He just got paid today. Way to go, Debo. Congratulations to you. You deserve every penny of that money. The next wide receiver taken, absolutely. The next wide receiver taken in that draft was A.J. Brown by the Tennessee Titans. Again, he is no longer with them. He is a Philadelphia Eagle now. Then the next wide receiver taken was Nicole Hardman by the Kansas City Chiefs. The next wide receiver taken was J.J. Argega Whiteside. I can't even pronounce it. What's that?
Arciega. Yes.
Oh, okay. J.J. Arciega Whiteside. I can't even pronounce his name. He was taken 57th, one pick after Nicole Hardman. The next wide receiver taken was Paris Campbell with the 59th pick. The next wide receiver taken was Andy Isabella with the 62nd pick. And then three guys that we'll all know here. We got with the 64th pick, DK Metcalf was drafted. With the 66th pick, Deante Johnson. And then the 76th pick, Terry McLaurin. And then to throw out there at the 149th pick, there was Hunter Renfro, who is obviously with the Las Vegas Raiders. So obviously some of these guys have a ton of production. You even have Darius Slayton there at the 171st pick. And then we have some guys that really haven't done anything in the league. So I'll go ahead and let you go first, bro. If you were redrafting these wide receivers, who would be your first 5? What order would you draft them in?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess overall number 1 from this draft class, just based on sheer talent and I wouldn't say productivity, because certain receivers have been a little bit more productive, but I'm going to go with Debo here. He's just a better playmaker of the guys in this group, I believe. You can utilize him in a bunch of different ways. So I'd go Debo number 1. Number 2, I would actually have to move up Terry McLaurin. I really like McLaurin. I think you could plug him in with a lot of different offenses, and he would thrive. Then I would go. I'm gonna move up. Actually, I'm not gonna move this guy up. I'm gonna go A.J. Brown. Here's my next receiver. I think A.J. Brown is a tremendous talent. He produced since he's been in the league. He has battled a couple of injuries, but he's produced solidly since he's been in the league. And then I'll actually go Metcalf. I'm going to move Metcalf up from where he was drafted. I'd take him as the 4th receiver in this draft. And then the 5th receiver. See, I like a lot of these other guys, but this is a tough one, the 5th one here, because some of those guys, just they haven't produced. But you got to wonder, is like, well, if they were in a different system, would they produce? But nonetheless, I'll go Deante. I'll go Deante Johnson right there as my number 5. I think he's another guy you could put in a lot of different systems and he would produce. Some of these guys you can't say that about, and that's kind of the difference. You could see that with guys like that were drafted, like who you said, Nicole Hardman, JJ Arcega-Whiteside. They come in the league, didn't do very much, and they were drafted ahead of some of the guys that I actually moved up into the top 5 pick there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you get down towards the bottom, or not the bottom, but those bottom 2 or 3 or bottom 2 in the top 5, I think it gets a little tougher. I like your order. I would probably switch it up a little. I actually I don't know if I love Debo. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, he's my guy. Again, congratulations on getting paid today, young man. You deserve every penny of that money. But I'm not sure if I wouldn't take. I'm not sure if I wouldn't take McLaurin before him. Just because the way he's been able to produce with the carousel at quarterback up in Washington. He's been a really consistent guy. Looking at the numbers here, he actually has the 3rd most combined rushing and receiving yards of that draft class. It goes DK number 1. It goes Debo number 2, barely ahead of Terry McLaurin at number 3. And again, that's with a carousel at quarterback. I mean, I can't even count the number of quarterbacks he's had, start and throw him the ball since he's been in the league. So I think that I would probably go with him at number 1.
Wow.
Again, this is obviously hindsight's 2020, but I think I would go with him at number 1. I would probably go with Debo at number 2. I would go with DK at number 3. I would go probably – this is where it gets a little tougher for me because I like the production that some of these guys have put up. But at the same time, even though they're young, those injuries start to creep in. They start to miss games, and it kind of makes me want to back off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would probably say at number 4, I'm probably going A.J. Brown. And then at number 5, I'm probably going to surprise a lot of people here, especially a couple people we know. But I'm probably going to go with Hunter Renfro because of his consistency and his reliability.
Really
He's
like
not
that number 5.
he's not flashy, but he's consistent. What do they call it in Las Vegas? It's third and Renfro. He's that security blanket for Derek Carr. So I think I would go with him at number 5. Obviously you got some guys that can ball out on this list, and then you've got some other guys, like I said, who really haven't done anything. Does anybody remember Keyshawn Johnson? Didn't think so. He's got 36 catches for 360 yards in his career and 1 touchdown. Probably won't be playing if he does play at all. Won't be playing much this year. Then you got guys that were. I mean, I don't know how you feel about him. I was really high on this guy when he was coming out of ASU, N'Keal Harry. I actually wanted the 49ers to pick him, and now I'm so glad that they did not. And I'm not sure if that's because he just didn't fit in up there in New England, or if he just truly isn't that guy that I thought he was, and a lot of people thought he was. So I think it'll be interesting to see. He's in a tough spot in Chicago. Their offense is not very flashy. They don't. There's no reason to think that he's going to turn it around in Chicago and all of a sudden be this amazing wide receiver that he couldn't be in New England. So, Marquis Brown, he was the first wide receiver taken, but I don't know if I would take him in my top 6 or 7 if we were to redraft these wide receivers.
Well, Hollywood. So I was actually thinking about Hollywood, and it's just a situation where, a guy like that comes into the league. He's drafted to be a number 1 receiver on a run-heavy team. Not only a run-heavy team that's got a quarterback who's not necessarily known for his traditional quarterback prowess. And, he's not known for airing the ball out. And that can be tough for really, I think, any receiver. So he gets traded to the Cardinals this year, and he's going to now an offense that I believe it highlights the deep threat receiver capabilities and skill set. So I'll be really curious to see how Hollywood does in the air raid offense of Cliff Kingsbury's this year. and Kyler Murray. Now, you were talking about N'Keal Harry. So I was one of those guys, just like you, we're Niners fans, and I was like, yeah, I wanted them to draft him too, and I'm sure glad we didn't. But it kind of makes you wonder at this point because he was traded to the Bears for a 7th-round pick, which is peanuts. But does that mean that there's still a GM who like believes enough that he could still have that first-round talent or even a little bit of talent? Because generally what we see from like the position like a wide receiver is once a guy gets to a point where, I guess you could say he's been a bust to this point in his career. He hasn't been on the field much. He wasn't on the field much for New England. He didn't get a lot of opportunities, but it makes you wonder, do GMs, or at least I know the Bears GM, still feel like he's got that potential? Because you give up a 7th-round pick, which doesn't seem like a lot, but you could have went and claimed him off of waivers. Are you really was that convicted that maybe another team would be interested enough to claim him off of waivers? So you go and give up a draft pick. So I don't know, maybe I'm reading into that too much, but I do believe that given some opportunities, if he can stay on the field, we might see a different N'Keal Harry. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the main thing. He's just got to be on the field. He's got to make plays.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a big thing with him is he's been injured quite a bit. And he went to personally, I think that for wide receivers, although they did have Tom Brady, I think wide receivers like the worst place to go is New England as a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
They just demand so much of their players from everything that I can read, I've read and have seen and watched and heard. And not that they shouldn't have high expectations. I think that they just again demand so much of their players to strive for perfection. I think it's really difficult for young wide receivers to come in and not be intimidated by playing with the best quarterback, the greatest quarterback to ever play and the greatest coach ever. It takes a special breed to play in that environment, I think, and some guys have it, some guys don't. I'm going to throw a name out here, and it's going to I'm doing this only because I want any Packers fan that watches this to cringe right now and go into like, I don't know, not necessarily cardiac arrest, but I want them to, go into a deep depression. Do you know who else was drafted in this class? What other wide receiver was drafted in this class? He's not really a big name, but he has caught one of the most famous touchdowns in recent memory.
In 2019?
He was drafted in 2019. He caught one of the most famous passes in recent memory from the quarterback I was just talking about, Tom Brady.
Oh, hell. You got me stumped.
Scotty Miller was drafted in the 6th round by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there were only 4 wide receivers drafted after him in that draft. But Scotty Miller was drafted in that draft. This is great. In case you don't know who Scotty Miller is, he's the guy that caught the touchdown at the end of the first half when the Packers had a blown coverage in the playoff game against the Buccaneers when the Bucs went on to win the Super Bowl. He has 4 touchdowns in his entire career, but none more famous than that one right there. And I just wanted to bring that up because, I have so much love for Packers fans.
No, Packers fans.
I just wanted to bring it up because I know it's going to make them have bad memories. Either way, that's our redraft of the 2019 wide receiver class. It was good chatting with you, bro. I think that although we had some different takes, I think it was good interaction there. And it's always good to see other people's point of view and what they look at when they're thinking about draft and people are building a team or anything like that. So, and I feel like we know each other really well, but it always surprises me the differences that we have. So, all right, as usual, Stay forever faithful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Be on the lookout for more content throughout the week. And be kind, even to Cowboys fans.
Mhm.